Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at Googl, Nflx, DPZ, BABA, the Ibb, and Ulta. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into Googl today. And what a day for Googl, let me tell you, it just keeps going up and up and up. You had Netflix with a little bit of news or on earning report. I guess they had blockbuster earnings, whatever that means. When you lowball the estimates, any company can hit. They added more subscribers, blah blah blah, more crap. But we'll look at that one in the next couple of symbols. So let's get right into the daily of Googl. Man, a little bit more, we'd add a nice topping tail, even on volume. So I think they're sucking all the retail traders in here. They're all questioning themselves, saying, gosh, someone must know something with good earnings. We better get in here because it's got to go up. It's got to go up. You know what? I hope it goes up because I'll be adding more shorts at the top here. So we shorted this one today, adding on all the even numbers as it went up. And actually, by the end of the day, we were up almost $1 on the trade after all that. And I was waiting for 8:30 for the last section to add, and it just never made it. Looking at the 10-minute chart, I mean, it kept going. So every even number pierced, we're adding, then we stopped, and then boom, came back, made a little tail here, and at the end of the day, it came right back in, and that was nice because it went from 828.80, which was the high. What was the high of the day? 828.81, and the close of the day was what was the close? 821.49. So that was a heck of a fade at the end of the day. So if you were in my live stream and you were watching my video and we were going over this, we were talking about this Googl topping tail here that it could possibly pull back, and I sure did. That was a nice trade. But we're up on the trade. We can add more going up. We also have a swing trade account, which we'll do it on that one as well if it moves up on earnings. Let's go back to the daily. The daily is trying to get above here. From a daily point of view, we did close above the old all-time high today. So we'll be looking for confirmation to get a close above this 28.81 area. But I'd like to see it do it on a weekly close and then take it from there. So that's what we'll be looking for on that one. Weekly chart, same thing. I want to see it close above this on the weekly basis, so we have until Friday. Let's see if we reverse and end up coming down a little bit. If I end up getting 20-30 bucks off this thing, I'll be pulling my short off, period. If this thing pops up on earnings, I'll be adding it up again at the highs, and we'll be taking it down from there. Weekly chart does not look bad. Little bullish consolidation, but this pop out, come on, I want to see some more conviction volume and pushing this thing up. After this type of consolidation, this thing should be jamming up to 900 bucks, no problem. If it does not and reverses and comes down, we will be selling hard on this one, I guarantee it. You're looking at 672, and ultimately you're looking at this 587 number. If we really start to dump, the SPY comes in, everything starts to just crumble. That's the prices we're looking at. But one day at a time and 1 week at a time, and we'll go from there, guys. Googl, this could have been the last move into earnings, and then maybe it chops around. Maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. You got a 50-50 shot. So, all right, let's look at Nflx, the high flyer. Remember this one? This was the one that everybody wanted out of the FANG. I don't like that. Let's put NVIDIA. That one keeps going up. But you know what? Now everybody likes this one again. Awesome. So we added shorts. We took a couple trades from the after hours yesterday, and then we took a trade today as well. We covered half of it. So we took the trade up in here, pulled back, we covered it, went back up, we added it on again, then it kind of floated, ended up closing 118.79. So on our short, we're a little bit in the money at this point, but we actually did it twice with covering and then adding and covering. So we're actually up probably about $3 on this trade right now. So I'm happy with that, and that's why we try to do some intraday action as well to make up for it if we get in the trade. So right now we made money on this one. If it continues down, we'll make more. So daily Nflx, we talked about the 750 retrace from yesterday's earning report. That's coming from this pivot top to this pivot low, and then you have another pivot around 122.16 and another pivot right here about 126.24. If this does continue up for whatever reason, that's your next areas of resistance. Then ultimately your double top up in here if it makes it up there. Is there anything else? I think that's the high or no? Yeah, so that's the all-time high up in there. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if it can make it. But right now, I'm thinking that this thing's popping, and it's going to be a gap up and a crap out. So you'll be looking for this area. You got gap fill for support coming down. You also have the 382 right around 113 even number. That's going to be some support as well. So be careful with Netflix. If you're long, you got to take something off the table, guys. And it's not because I'm short. It's because, hey, you got a great bid up, especially you came in from 85, 86, these low pivots. You're at 118 right now. Man, because right up here you got a lot of overhead resistance. All the bag holders here from beginning of the year and last year when we had the flash crash, they're all going to be in there going, you know what, it's Netflix, I know, it's great, whatever, blah, 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 but I'm taking my profit and I'm saying, see you later. Or, in this case, you're taking a break even and saying, see you later. But Netflix on the monthly, that was a really good chart at one point. Now that thing, you know, if we come right back in, then I would play this bearish pattern. But like I said, I added shorts up here, and I'm going to stick to it for now. Let's go DPZ. Now this one was interesting. We have a live session on YouTube. I've been coming on around noon every day at noon New York time. Not every day, trying to, but sometimes I'm a little busy and I just don't have time to do live videos. But we did it today, and someone called this one out, and we actually got in at 163.01. I have a Twitter account, so we posted it on that. And then look at that fall. So right now it closed at 159.34. So we're already up almost $4 on the trade. Our entry price was right in here. Right when this thing was popping up, and then it tried to reverse, and then it came reversed in, bearish pattern, started playing out, and then boom. So right now this is a pretty good trade. I mean, it's still early. Anything can happen tomorrow. It was earnings, but what a nice gap up and a nice rounded top and straight back down. So we're going to see where this thing closes tomorrow. You're going to have more support here, but ultimately why we took the trade, the daily chart, you know, we have a nice little, almost a little topping tail on there. I'll have to take a look at that a little closer. But the reason why we took it, look at the monthly. Monthly's getting stretched. Every time it's stretched, see how it stretches, comes back in, stretches, comes back in. This one just chopping around, but then this one was a pretty good stretch chop. So we'll see on the monthly chart where this thing closes. Hoping to get closing price below this high pivot here, and then we should be in good shape to get some lower prices to come. But again, we're at 163.01. You know, if we get down to the 382 or the 50, that's 130. That's 30 something bucks on this trade. Even if you had 100 shares, 100 measly shares, that's a hell of a trade. You know, imagine if you have 1,000 shares. That's even a better trade. So just know your money management, know your risk factors, and take the right size shares to get the, you know, the biggest bang for the buck. And if you think this thing's going to continue up, you go half position or a third position and just keep adding as it goes up. Kind of like Googl we did today. We added as it goes up, and now we're a buck in the money. I mean, tomorrow can be a different story, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take whatever. But you know what? I'm in. If it goes up on earnings, then hey, we'll short it again. So daily chart BABA. BABA's been chopping around. It tried popping up, came back, another retrace, came back. This was a slightly bearish pattern. They had one pop in the gap fill, filled the gap, and boom, 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 3 days down. We hit support down in here with the 50 MA, bounced right back up. Now we're chopping around below the 20. This is a bearish pattern setting up for lower prices. Earnings are coming up, so really all these are pretty much a crapshoot at this point. So just be careful. If you in any of these profits, any long, short, or whatever, and you get in a profit, start just trimming some off, because you really don't want to get your butt kicked. Because you wake up one day and this thing's tanking, China's down 7%, and everything's falling apart, and everyone's going, what the heck is going on here? They told us that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, don't believe the talking heads. And then on the monthly chart, the 104.31 or the 750 fib, that's the one it's hitting, that's the one it's holding. Let's see if we could get some lower prices coming into the next week or going into earnings. Like I said, I don't know. After a move from 60 to almost 110, you better have good frickin' earnings to get this. But don't worry, you know what? They'll lowball them. They'll come in just right. They'll probably do a stock buyback or some other crap to make it look good. Something like that, guys. I don't know. Let's look at IBB. IBB monthly. Look at that monthly chart. And we go over this a lot. Look at that. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. This thing, I'm telling you, 197, maybe in here 165 or so. That's some big chart. That's going to take a little while to get there. That is one ugly chart. So now, though, you had a bearish pattern here, setting up below the MAs. It starts setting up. We go right through the, well, see how it bounces at the 200. Next day, pretty much gap down, or gap right, pretty much a even open, and they just fell. We went into this area down in here, this pivot. That held it a little bit, got below it, went right to the 750 retrace, popped it up above that big support area, and here it is. Now we'll wait for pattern and see what happens with this one. You'll have earnings coming out on other companies, and that will affect this one as well. So keep an eye on all the bios. If it does retrace back up into this area, fills this gap, I'll be shorting. I'll be starting to add shorts here. If it gets up in this area, I'll definitely be adding more shorts. But right now, if you're short this one, hold it. I think we have lower prices to come, especially if the SPY sells. Weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing. You're in a channel, up and down, up and down, up and down. 200 MAs holding this thing on the weekly basis. It starts to base sideways above the MA. We are setting up for lower prices. Definitely the 240s are in the card if we go lower. And then ultimately you got this, I mean, I got 207, let me tell you. I got 207, 198, 197 in that area. Then ultimately down this pivot, and you have a gap fill right here too, right around 173. But you know, we'll take this day at a time. We'll see how this sets up, but right now it's looking pretty ugly. But you do have support in this area with the 200 MA, and that's what it's been pretty much holding on since 215. So if that 200 MA breaks and this trend line here breaks at 240, we'll definitely be seeing 208, 199 in my opinion. The Ulta shorted this one too, and we posted it on StockTwits. We covered half, and we covered half of the half today. Told everyone it's going. You know, this is where I started adding right here into the 750 retrace 266 area, even number. Boom, hit that, and right back down. So all the people who sold down here, they chased it up, and they're going to be in the same predicament again when this thing comes falling down. You know, it came out on news again, a news-driven stock. The CEO came out, talked some crap. Got everybody giddy. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Better hurry up and chase this thing up. So they all chased it. Now they're slapping it in their face. My short, I have a quarter position running. If it comes into the 240, 250, maybe down in this area, we'll see how it reacts. I'd love to see it down here at 238, but that's a big task. And then possibly breaking these trend lines here. I still think it's going to 217, 200 MA, and then you have the gap fill right here at 213.41. You have a window down in here, and also you have a gap down here at 163. But one step at a time, guys. Still has to come in, still has to break through all the support and all that stuff as well before it goes anywhere. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly here is pretty much the same thing. Just a bigger bar on the weekly. You know, this was setting up, man, it was setting up so nice to go down too, and then she had to come out and say news. But right back up. Let's see where we close on the weekly. I would love to see it close below the 20 MA, but that's going to be a tall task. I mean, it's not too far. It's at 250, so it's not too far away. But you're going to have some good support there where you could possibly get a bounce. So keep an eye on that if you are short. If you're long, you're going to wait for more consolidation and possibly a move up. But I think that's the hard trade right now, guys. If you short this thing here and use the all-time high, just use enough shares to where, okay, it's 60, it's $20, maybe 100 shares, or 100 shares, worst case scenario, $2,500 loss if it confirms. But best case scenario, if it goes down 20, 30 bucks, 100 shares is $3 grand. Like I said, $3 grand here, $3 grand there, $1 grand here, 500 there. Next thing you know, you got 20 grand on the month. It's all it takes, guys, little by little by little by little, each profit, and then, try to get 10 in a row winners, have 1 or 2 losers. You have that ratio by the end of the year. You got 350 trades, 50 are losers, 300 are winners, and that's all you need to get a good, profitable year. So Ulta, again, just be careful with this one if you're long. If you chased it up here, I'm sorry. They might be pulling this thing back, at least into the moving average, maybe 20, maybe gap fill in this trend line. And it could possibly bounce. We'll wait for the next pattern for the next leg down. I still think it's moving down to at least a 228.62. Then ultimately we're coming here in the 217.50. Time frame, hard to say. If the SPY sells, it'll be a little quicker. All right, guys. Thanks for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.